7 seconds. All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakadash. Also, I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who teach in truth and sincerity, and also who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered four corners of the earth. You know, which are you so-called Negroes, the Latino, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You know, the children that's coming from Jacob out of Israel, and the nation that the Lord is only dealing with. Okay? So this is literally a man back and scriptures and a testimony of a video that I did last Saturday before camp. You know, just because you can have multiple wives doesn't mean that you can commit adultery. Just because that you see a woman, you know, that doesn't belong to you doesn't mean you can have your way with her. So if she's in the world married or is, you know, boyfriend or dealing with a man, you need to back off. So this is basically the scriptures bringing out in the fourfold, you know. And this is also a testimony that I just recently dealt with. But, you know, the Spirit was on me. Like, when you're going to get tempted, and when that temptation comes to you, you got to be like, are you going to side with the temptation, or are you going to side with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai? And I mentioned earlier, there are certain things that's going to resonate with you in the scriptures. You might not even know anything, but you might feel like something's off or something's not right. And in my personal opinion, not opinion, but just through the Spirit, I never liked dealing with women that was dealing with a man. You know, I always like, yo, I want to back off. So let's grab into some scriptures, because it was two that I wanted to actually quote. So let me grab Corinthians 6 and 9. 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. All right, cool. All right, so this is 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. It says, know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. So these are the attributes that will not be acceptable of salvation and to be partakers of the kingdom. And it says, believe, be not deceived. All right, so don't be ignorant. Neither fornicators, to be into other idolatries, nor idolaters, to you know, have other, like, you know, believe in Jesus Christ. It says neither, it says nor adulterers, and that's like the key point. An adulterer is somebody that, you know, in GMS, you know that GMS, he deals with the men. So you're not supposed to be dealing with a woman that has a man. All right. It says, nor effeminate. So, you know, a man that's like, you know, want to be, you know, got the nail. I mean, it's cool to have hygiene, but don't be in the vibration of what the characteristics of a woman is. So basically, you know, wearing a dress, you know, getting your lashes done, being effeminate, being weak, being as a woman, the vibrations of a woman. Okay. abusers of themselves with mankind. All right. So doing wicked lewdness. Verse 10, but the point, it was really verse 9, but I'll read 10. It says, nor thieves, so don't be stealing or trying to jack a brother, jack somebody. Nor covetous, jealous, trying to have what the next brother got. It says, nor drunkards, somebody that like, we can drink, but don't be drunk. So when you're staggering, so on and so forth. It's really simple. Nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. All right. So these are the stipulations. So let me grab Galatians 5:21. Slovakia. Sometimes I do still have to go through the table of contents, but here we go. And another brother from GNS Detroit also taught me, like, when you look at these two scriptures, there's no loophole for you to slip into the kingdom of heaven. All right. So this is Galatians chapter 5. And I'll get to the point. It starts at 19. The point is in 20 and 21. And it says, idolaters, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, sedition, heresies. Okay. Verse 21, envying, murderers, drunkenness, reveling, and such like, of this which I tell you before, as I have also told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. So when you compare Galatians 5:20 and 21, 1 Corinthians 6 and 9, there's no loopholes for you to get into the kingdom of heaven, man. And like I said, the main thing I was getting into was the adulterous part, because you'll see Jake, even in the world, in certain parts of the truth, that believe that they're in the truth, believe that if they're not in the truth, they can have this woman. Listen, when a woman has a man, that woman still got to, like, do the will of that man, regardless if he's in the truth or not. So, it's another point that I wanted to get, and I wanted to bring this out when I was given to the record of King David. Samuel, yep. This is book of 2 Samuel, Slovakia, chapter 2, I'm sorry, chapter 11, verse 2. So we'll read on and I'll jump around a little bit. And it says, and it came to pass in tithe that David arose from his bed and awoke on the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon. So Elder Apostle Gabar always say, imagine these things. So you waking up, you know, and just keep it in the butt. You know, you got the morning the morning lumber, you know, and the woman looked very beautiful to look upon. So he's looking at this one like, damn, she fine. Oh shit. Verse 3, and it says, and David sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, is that not Bathsheba, the daughter of Elam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite? So you like, yo, oh shoot, ain't that oh yeah, ain't that Uriah's girl? Right? And he's like, yo, he basically put it like this. She's like, yo, fetch her for me. And then, you know, servant's like, yo, ain't that Uriah's girl? Verse 4, it says, and David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him, and he laid with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned unto her house. So he grabbed her up and, you know, lay with her, basically getting into the point that they had sex. Verse 5, and the woman conceived and sent and told David and said, I am with child. So basically, you know how you lay with that woman and you be like, you get that text message, you like, call, I'm pregnant. All right. So I'm not gonna grab these where the servants knew and wanted to tell him, but I'm gonna just jump to the conclusion of everything. All right. So I'm gonna jump to 2 Samuel 11 and 26. All right. Actually, let me jump back. This is what David did. So let's go to 16. And it says, and it came to pass, because, you know, you gotta understand, David knew the scriptures. He knew the will of the Lord, right? And that's why you gotta control your lust. You gotta control your man downstairs. Real talk. And it says, verse 16, and it came to pass when Joab observed the city that he assigned Uriah into the place where he knew that valiant men were, and the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people of the servants of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also, because David put Uriah the Hittite on the front lines. Okay, but jumping down, like, you know, he was just trying to make it'll be more righteous, because I got into the book of Romans. Let me grab this real quick. Let me grab Romans, because it tells you about, you know, a woman to a man that dies. You know, I was probably paraphrasing. It gets into a point in Romans where a man dies first, then she can remarry. You know, that's okay. Now, say like if a woman remarries and she has a man, that's going off. But jumping down to 26,